He's not sure of the electrical, but everything on it, the whole truck burned up, you know, the time we got there, he's in bed asleep, the cat woke him up.
Well, thank God for the cat.
Yes, man, right out in the road out here.
Okay. And two, you, with the school, you wanna elaborate that?
Well, yeah, you know, for everybody's information, last week, all week was what we call Fire Prevention Week. They have it every year. All the fire departments across the United States try to do it in the same time frame. You know, either the beginning of the week or anytime during the week. We get a lot of information out into the school system, and we had people down there last week in the school system. We usually do the primary into kindergarten and on up to first, second, third grade. And then I myself went over here to the Wilkinson County Head Start and did a fire presentation with them. You have to do really simple stuff, you know, when they 4-year-old Head Start, but I passed out some coloring sheets and give every one of them a certificate, you know, for ready firefighter. They was all tickled to death. They were gonna put their name on it, carry it home with them. But we do that for a reason. Children can go home, no joke. Most everybody, if you've ever been in the school system and had children, I know I see several teachers here. We always teach all of them stop, drop, and roll. And you'd be surprised how small a child can learn that. And when you go, when I went the other day, these 4-year-olds, they knew that. When I asked them, you know, about fire safety, they all went to saying stop, drop, and roll.
Well, let me ask you,
Yes, ma'am.
did any of them try to demonstrate?
No, they
or
did, but
follow
I didn't lay down on the ground myself, but I do explain to them how to do it. You know, there's a proper way. You don't just lay down and roll over, you know. And I'll tell all these people too, if anybody you see ever catches a fire like that, it's good for grown-up too. What you do, you put your hands over your face. What that does, if your clothes are on fire in front of you, it protects your mouth and your nose and your eyes by putting your hands over your face. And then you do lay on the ground and you just roll over slowly, especially whichever side is on fire, you close. Most people who have been around industrial type stuff like I have all my life, Englehart, I see some guys that I work with. At some point in time, welding and cutting, you know, things like that, we had probably caught our clothes on fire, but we was fortunate somebody would see it and we would put it out. But a lot of people don't know. They get excited and they run. When you run, it gets more air and it just burns that much quicker. So it's good information for grown-ups to know too, you know, stop, drop, and roll, you know.
Well, I was looking at CSI last night and the man was on fire, but he had rubber under the shoe at the beach.
Right,
So but he was running,
Right.
apparently he didn't know to stop, drop, and roll.
right, he shouldn't run. That's-
He kept running, trying to get to that water, to the beach, but if
If
he
you're
burned.
close, it would be okay, but if you're not, you know, don't run, lay down and just roll over, or if there's somebody around you, take something and throw over, you know, cover it up with a blanket or a
So it
coat.
smothers the fire.
Smothers the fire, right. If you smother the fire out, it dies down and there'll be less burn, you know, on the victim. So that's what we teach the children. But we tell them these things so that they can go home and repeat it to their parents, you know. We usually give them color books and things that has that information in it. Especially don't play with matches and lighters. And, you know, when you go in the kitchen, stay away from the stove. Don't, you know, get around your mother's or grandmother's tailcoat, we call it, you know, and stay right beside them if they cooking, you know.
Yes.
There's simple things, but these children can go home and tell the parents that, you know. So,
Thank you so much.
yes, ma'am.
All right, moving right on, anything else?
No, ma'am, that's all I
Not
have.
streets.
I have seen some improvements, around the city lately. But we still need to do some weeding. I don't know whether the guys know how, I guess they do know how to do weeding. But, we need to do some weeding and especially, Elam, I think that's what Miss Chapman did there, on Elam Street and on College Street, the sidewalks, because the grass is growing up in between them, so we really do need to try to get that. And I would also like to encourage the citizens to please go to City Hall if you have problems, fill out a work order sheet, and they will give them to Mr. Lerns, and we will try to get it taken care of. And to, our citizens are here tonight. Please encourage everyone to not throw trash and garbage on the street. Thank you.
And to add to what you were saying, I went out, you all, this past weekend and went to piggyback on what Councilwoman Whipple is saying, from the, all the way down to the Gordon Plaza, all the way back from when you turn the walk, you know, when you call them the breezeways. For people who are handicapped, it is quite difficult for them to be able to be in a wheelchair, and with all of the grass that is grown up and covered, it's just appalling. And to the Public Works Department, if you all be much more considerate and go and make that look a bit presentable, because a lot of people walk. And like I said, for those people who are wheelchair bound, that's not good for them. And if you want to look at it, and I encourage you all to go out there and look and ride, just ride from there all the way back into town. And it's just leaves are in the tree branches are in the way, and that's just not a pleasant sight. So if you all can take heed to that and please do something about it. All right. And once again, as she stated, and I'll reiterate, please do not litter. Next, we have police.
We had, some break-ins, but it was taken care of, the chief took care of it. It was some people that had some felonies and didn't have
Are these
anything else to
homes
do.
that they're breaking in?
They were bringing in cars. And, might be one home,
No, these all vehicles, all of them's vehicles.
okay. But,
Ended up being a total of 6.
okay, and it was taken care of.
He was apprehended that morning.
And then the chief also has something he wants to say.
Yes, Madam Mayor, Council, I want to do is come in and ask if we can, I can get $500 out of the police information fund account we have. It's a line item budget we have,
From what now?
the police information fund.
It's in the budget,
It's
right?
in the budget. This is the first time I've asked for it in a little over a year. We've been working with a lot of task force been coming in, using their money, paying, doing whatever. The money issues coming out, they've been taking that out of their pocket.
I make a motion, we give the police chief permission to draw whatever amount he needs.
$500, all I take out of time, is all I need to time.
Second that.
Motion has been made in second. All in favor, beginning with Mr. Denson.
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Usually we don't have to, before I went, through the years I went till now, I've never had to come to the council, just ask the mayor. I go to the clerk says, ask the mayor, and I ask the mayor, and all you have to do is just say yes and no, because it's just,
I like for
it's
council.
under $1,000,
Okay.
and I only have 2,000 in budget total for it.
Okay, well, we'll keep it like that, just because I
That's
like to
fine.
make them.
Because sometimes it's an emergency situation where I need the money right then to get some off the street. If I don't have the money, I can't get them off the street, so they get to run.
What I'll do is you make her aware, and she makes me, and then I'll call council if it's ever gets it.
That'll work.
We'll, but, you know, hopefully that.
If it's a must I need as soon as possible, I'll tell them.
But we're gonna try not to make it like that. You never know. But all right, sanitation,
Sanitation rolling along pretty good.
all right, everything rolling along pretty good. Anything else, I don't have anything else. That being all, then,
Make
no
a
further
motion, we
discussion.
adjourn.
Before we adjourn, the next meeting is scheduled for November 7th, 2016 at, 7:30 p.m. Motion has been made. Do I have a second? Okay. Motion has been made, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Guys have it.